Good morning, everybody. Wednesday, May 20th, in the week that we are finally still starting to open things back up at the gym. Hopefully, if you haven't yet, you'll get a chance here soon to try out one of the test classes or come in for one of the real ones this upcoming weekend, as long as the space is available. But of course, really exciting times as now I think we're finally starting to move in the right direction. Well, we've always been moving in the right direction, but I think we're finally starting to see some of the fruits of our labor. But yeah, exciting times. But if you're still hitting things at home, I'm here with you. So what we have today, we've got two pieces, a little skill piece to start things off, 10-minute EMOM, and then we're going to get into a little bit of Murph practice, or a Murph style workout called Baby Murph in the MetCon, which is a 15-minute AMRAP. So let's talk about the first piece. 10-minute EMOM to start things off, the skill work. After all that shoulder pressing yesterday, we are going to get inverted here today. If your shoulders are a little bit beat up from yesterday, as mine are after hitting it this morning, I'm filming this on Tuesday morning. Then, of course, you can always choose the latter option on this EMOM, which is just a plank hold instead. But 10-minute EMOM, odd minutes. We are doing a 30-second handstand hold, either against a wall, freestanding, whatever floats your boat, or a 45-second plank hold. So in the remaining time in that minute, whenever you are not working, you are resting, getting ready for the top of the next minute, which will take us into our even minutes, which will change up the exercise. Even minutes, we are doing 14 pistols. For those of you that might be new to the gym or don't have a lot of experience doing pistols, it's a one-legged squat, one-legged air squat, basically. Certainly, if you do not have pistols unassisted with just one leg today, that's totally fine. Plenty of scales that you guys can do in place of that. But I would like to see you work on some sort of pistol scale rather than just, doubling the number of reps that you do for just air squats with like two legs. Because we got a lot of air squats coming up in the workout, and this is a really good, portion of the day kind of carved out to work on developing this skill. So a lot of different pistol scales. We can talk about some before we get into the actual workout today after the warm up. So just stand by for those if you're looking for some options. After that is done, we'll get into the MetCon, which again, like I said, is called Baby Murph. It's a 15-minute AMRAP. Reps are going to go 4, 8, and 12. We're going to go through that as many times as possible in 15 minutes, and this should be just with the exercises that we're going to be doing, and the rep schemes that we are working with, the volume. This should be something across these 15 minutes where we're pretty much moving pretty much at all times going through this thing. So how it will go. We start off with hang power cleans, which is still going to give us that little bit of pull-in that we would from the rig, a pull-up bar for Murph. We've got 4 hang power cleans, 8 push-ups, either assisted or unassisted, and then finishing with 12 air squats. 15 minutes, we'll go through as many rounds of that as we possibly can. Hang power clean weights, if you're using a barbell today, fitness is 95-65. Performance and open are an even playing field at 135-95. When you choose weights there, it should be unbroken from start to finish. There is absolutely no reason why we should have to put that barbell down before 4 reps is complete from minute 0 to minute 15. Dumbbells. Fitness today is 35-25. If you're going that route, there's going to be 1 in each hand. Still same thing, hang power cleans. That'll feel probably a little bit more like a bicep curl than barbell. So maybe Dan Pino will take that option today. And then performance and open, 50s, 35s. So that's what we have. We will do a little warm-up here. I will demo some things in the warm-up that I'm going to ask you to do independently on your own. And then we can talk about some scaling options for pistols. Touch on the MetCon one more time briefly before we get things underway. And that's what we'll do. We'll get things underway. Okay, so first part of the warm-up, whether it's in your house or out in your neighborhood, wherever you want to go, or even just run laps around your house, it doesn't matter to me. We're just going to do a 5-minute jog to kick things off, get things moving around. So set a clock on your phone, your watch, whatever, for 5 minutes. But I want you to keep an eye on it or set an alarm or a little Tabata timer to go off every minute. Because including minute 0, when we start this 5-minute clock of just jogging wherever you are, Every minute on the minute in that 5-minute clock, including 0, I want you to stop what you are doing, complete 3 air squats, 2 lunges, so just 1 with the right leg, 1 with the left leg, that equals 2, and 1 burpee. So every minute on the minute, including 0 in this 5-minute run, stop what you're doing, 3 air squats, 2 lunges, 1 burpee. When that 5-minute clock is all wrapped up, come on back and we'll keep the warm-up going. When you're back from your run, we are now going to complete 5 rounds in the next part of the warm-up. You are going to start at the top of a high plank position, and you're going to do Spider-Man lunges on each leg. So at the top of a plank position, you will do a Spider-Man lunge on the right leg, 1 on the left leg, come back to center in the top of that high plank, shoulder tap, shoulder tap. That's 1 round. We're going to go through that 5 times on your own. So top of a plank position, Spider-Man lunge on the right leg, Spider-Man lunge on the left leg, shoulder tap, shoulder tap. Boom. That's 1 round. We've got 5 of those. Go hit it and come on back. The next part of your warm-up, we will again go through 5 rounds of this, and again, 2 different movements. First one is going to be 3 Romanian deadlifts or a stiff-legged deadlift on your right side, and then 3 on the left. A deadlift, we'd obviously be picking something up. We're just going to go through the motions here to stretch out your hamstrings and get them fired up a little bit as if you were actually picking something up. So just play pretend here. So just to demo, we will start, let's say your right leg out in front, your left leg will be up in the air behind you. I want you to hinge forward just until you feel that right hamstring light up a little bit, and then come back up to standing. That's 1. Here's 2. After we complete 3 on the right leg, we're going to do the same thing on the left. After we come back to standing, you're going to side lunge to the right, side lunge to the left. After you come back to center, that is 1 round. We're going to do 5 of those. 3 RDLs or stiff-legged deadlifts on the right, 3 on the left, side lunge, side lunge. That's 1 round. We are doing 5 of them. Go for it. The last part of this warm-up before we stretch, we're going to continue the same type of setup as we just did on the two previous segments. 5 rounds. This one's real easy, real quick. 5 rounds, 3 jumping air squats. So just get up off the ground and get your hip open as you squat or as you jump at the top. And then 2 push-ups, either assisted, unassisted, whatever you're going to do in the MetCon today. 5 rounds, 3 jumping air squats, 2 push-ups. Go. The last part of your warm-up is just going to be some stretching, okay? And all of this is going to be done independently on your own. I want you to work on your own clock. I don't want you to have to sit here and me hold you up. So what I'm looking for, though, we are going to do 4 separate movements or 4 separate stretches. Take as much time on each of them as you need. I'm going to suggest maybe like 30 seconds on each. First one is going to be a pigeon stretch, okay? Into the outer part of your hip, your butt cheek for all that squatting that we're about to do. And especially with pistols here right in the beginning. I want to make sure that's all nice and loosened up. I want you to spend about 30 seconds on the right leg, 30 seconds on the left leg in that pigeon stretch. Your next stretch is going to be into your ankles, okay? I want you to spend about 30 seconds on each leg, back and forth, stretching out your ankles. So it's basically just getting yourself into a deep squat, driving that knee out over your toe while the heel of your foot stays glued to the ground as best as you can. So ankle stretch, calf stretch. You feel that in your Achilles. I want you to spend about 30 seconds on each leg there after your pigeon stretch on each leg. After that, let's spend about 30 seconds or so, maybe even if you want to run through this twice, that's fine, in a front rack stretch. Find some surface that is elevated, or you can go up against a wall, whatever, and stretch into that front rack position that we're going to live in here throughout the baby Murph MetCon. Put yourself up against the wall. go ahead and elevate that elbow, push up against the wall for about 30 seconds or so, maybe 20, 30 seconds or so on the right arm, and then we'll go 20, 30 seconds on the left. And then finally, stretch out your wrists. We're going to start catching that barbell in the right from the get-go in the MetCon, just in case we catch one a little low or whatnot whenever we're first getting started. Want to make sure those are nice and loosened up as well. So about 30 seconds or so on each side, pigeon. Same thing with your ankles. Same thing with the front rack stretch, and then finishing things off with wrist stretch. Anything else that you need to do on top of that is fine. Take the time to do it. But once this segment cuts here in the video, we're going to break down both pieces of the workout today, the EMOM, and then talking about the MetCon as well, and then we'll let you dive in and hit it here. Okay, again, let's talk EMOM first. Again, odd minutes, we are going either a 30-second handstand hold or a 45-second plank hold. If you hit yesterday's MetCon with all the overhead and you just don't feel like going inverted upside down today, your shoulders are sore, that's fine. Don't do it. That's why we're giving you the option to do something else if you're hurting. But for those of us that still feel pretty fresh and want to get upside down and miss getting upside down, we've got a 30-second handstand hold. Whatever fashion you would like to do that in is totally fine. Now, you will hold for 30 seconds, and we will have about 30 seconds to rest before we hit the next top of the minute and we change exercises to your pistols. Now, if you're choosing to do the 45-second plank hold, same thing applies. If your shoulders are sore from yesterday, you don't want to sit at the top of a push-up, a high plank, especially with all the push-ups that we're going to do in the MetCon. That's fine. Just take it down to your forearms. Totally cool. But please do your best to try to keep your butt down, and we're going to hold that for 45 seconds, rest for 15 until we hit the next top of next top of the minute for changing stations. Even minutes, again, we've got 14 pistols or 14 pistol scales. If you're doing pistols, you know what needs to happen. We break parallel, we come on back up, we switch legs, we alternate legs as we go. 14 pistols would be 7 on the right, 7 on the left, again, alternating as we go. For those of us that are doing pistol scales, I know this was originally written up as kind of lean and heavy to one side as your pistol scale, but you can really just choose whatever option works best for you, whether that be as simple as a Bulgarian split squat with your leg behind you elevated. We lunge out in front and we just squat on that lead leg with the back one elevated, the other one elevated behind us on like a box, an ottoman, couch, whatever is fine. If you have some sort of rig at home and you have a band that you can hold on to and sink down into a one-legged squat just to support your body weight a little bit, that's fine too. If you want to do a pistol squat to where you don't have to support your body weight at the bottom of a squat and get below parallel, set up an ottoman, go next to your couch, a box, sit your butt back to where your butt meets the box, take a seat for a split second, and then shoot right back up. But if we don't have any of those options at home, I would ask you to use both legs like you would be doing an air squat, but I want you to really heavily favor one side as you go down to the bottom of that air squat so that we can try to mirror that pistol squat as best we possibly can if you don't have the props to help you do it. So again, that's what we have for the first piece. 10-minute EMOM, odd minutes, we're going to do the holds. And then even minutes, we will do our pistols or pistol scales. Next up, let's talk about the MetCon briefly. MetCon, baby Murph. We have Murph coming up here this weekend. I don't know what the plans are. If you're doing this at home, if we're going to have something at the gym. I'm filming this on Tuesday, so I have no freaking idea what the plans are right now. But hopefully if you're at home, you know, you can find a way to get it in on your own. If you don't have a pull-up bar, I know my wife and I are going to be subbing in something different. Something we always enjoy doing Murph together every year. It might be a little different this year, but still, if you're stuck at home doing Murph, find something to row, whatever. But most people, and if you've never done Murph before, you probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But most people choose to break up Murph into bite-sized chunks that are a little bit easier to swallow. They basically turn the workout into 20 rounds of Cindy, which is 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. So as you can see here in the MetCon today, Baby Murph, we're going to have 15 minutes that we roll through a 4, 8, 12. Again, the rep scheme is going to be very similar, and it should just have a very similar feel to what you're going to do in Murph here in a couple of days. We just don't have the mile run beforehand and afterhand, which some of you, I'm sure, are very thankful for. But again, it's a 15-minute AMRAP, 4 hang power cleans, 8 push-ups, 12 air squats. Hang power cleans, whether you're doing dumbbells or barbells, please don't forget that you need to deadlift that first rep and just give me like a slight pause just to establish that hang position anywhere from your hip crease to above your knee. That's fine, just can't sink below the knee. Make sure that you remember to deadlift that first rep before we start ripping into those hang power cleans, whether, again, we're talking about either dumbbells or barbells, doesn't matter. Push-ups. Again, you know yourself. You can either do these unassisted or assisted with something that you have at home, a band from your knees, whatever. But 8 reps, I would recommend trying to go for broke as long as we can. So if you feel confident that you can hit 8 push-ups unbroken for a couple of rounds before you start falling off, I'd recommend that you hit all 8 right out of the get-go until you can't anymore. 15 minutes, 8 reps. I mean, we're going to flow through this so quickly and have a chance to kind of shake things out and rest a little bit on your air squat. So I don't mind you going for broke here right from the get-go. But of course, for all of us, might be difficult to maintain 8 unbroken the whole way through. That's fine. Whenever we come down to it, if we need to split up reps into a 4-4 or even a little bit less, let's just cross that bridge whenever we get to it. Everybody's going to be different. Just try to hang on for as many reps as you can out of that 8. If that means unbroken right out of the gate, that's great. Hang on to that as long as you can. Air squats, again, that's going to be our place to breathe. So find a rhythm where you can breathe in and out of the top, and don't try to go like Speedy Gonzalez right out of the gate. This is our rest. So make sure that we bank a little bit of breath there while still moving at a nice rhythmic pace. So that's what we have. Imam, go ahead and hit that first. You got 10 minutes to do it. And then Baby Murph is going to be a 15-minute AMRAP to finish things off today, which will score a total number of full rounds completed and reps into your unfinished round at the end. So go ahead and hit that. I'll do a little cool down here to finish things off today, or give you some instructions on what I want you to stretch out. And then that's the end of your hump day. All right, we're back for the cool down. 3 stretches that I want you to do on your own. And if you've been watching me film these workouts enough by now over the past, 2.5 months, you'd know I'd lay on the floor and do this along with you. But I have a spectator, the pup, in there, who would rip my face off and not let me do it for you. Even though he's stretched out on the couch spread eagle right now, he'll awaken from his slumber as soon as I get on the floor. And don't say that I don't play with him. You guys have no idea what it looks like inside this house, in our backyard, walking him like 5-6 miles a day. He gets plenty of attention. So during the day when we're working, his sleep time, go do your thing, man, because I know as soon as 4 or 5 o'clock hits, you're going to be an absolute just shitstorm running through this house. So what we have for the cool down today, 3 separate movements. Chest opener to start. You're going to lay with your chest flat on the ground. Take your right arm out flat beside you. Kick your left leg around to really stretch out the inside part of your shoulder and into your chest. After all those push-ups should feel pretty good, and especially after all that pressing overhead yesterday too, you might be feeling it a little bit there. Take about 30 seconds on the right, 30 seconds on the left for that first stretch. Second one, you're just going to turn around, lay on your back. You're going to bring your right knee into your chest as you're laying on your back. And as you bring that right knee into your chest, you are going to kick that right knee across your body so we can feel a really big stretch into your lower back, your butt cheek, the outside part of your hip, basically like a pigeon stretch on crack on your back. So we're going to spend about 30 seconds on the right there, 30 seconds on the left. And then lastly, we're going to finish off with a child's pose. Just walking with your hands right out in front. We're going to spend about a minute here, meaning we're going to go about 20 seconds right down the middle into that child's pose stretch. 20 seconds where we got our hands moving to the left side, so we feel more of a stretch into your lat on the right arm. And then we're going to switch finally and go 20 seconds walking those hands out to the right so that we feel more of a stretch into your lat on the left side. So once you've gone through those 3 movements, again, we're going to call that the end of the day here for hump day. If you got a rest day coming tomorrow, congratulations, you earned it. But if not, we will see you back online again tomorrow.